Hey everyone, it's Matthew again, and this time we're doing some more political information. Basically, we're going to be starting off at 7 o'clock all the way until until 2 o'clock. Starting off at 7 o'clock, the states of Indiana, Kentucky, and South Carolina, and as well as Vermont, will be closing, while Indiana, Kentucky, and South Carolina will all be red. Of course, Vermont will be blue. At this point, this is an early lead for Donald Trump, as he will be winning. At 8 o'clock is West Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia. At this time, the only state that will be decided is West Virginia at 8 o'clock, going red. It will be going red, while the other two states are still being decided. Now, at 8 o'clock, the states of Florida, Massachusetts, and Virginia will be closing. Florida will be worked on for a while, as well as Virginia, North Carolina, and Georgia. However, Massachusetts will go automatically blue. At 8:30, Maryland, as well as Tennessee, Alabama, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, and Delaware, as well as DC, as well as all parts of Maine. At 8:30, Alabama, Tennessee will all go red, while also New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maryland, and Delaware will be all in some variation of blue. A lot of these will be blue. However, Delaware will be the lightest, with probably not going to be that bad. It won't be that bad for now, as well as the 1st District of Maine and the 2nd District of Maine being decided for Trump. And now, as if this wasn't enough, we still have a lot more states to go. So it's 8:30. Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa are all being decided, as well as Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Also, by the way, if you were wondering, New York and New Jersey still haven't been decided. In this, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Missouri, and Iowa will all go red, as well as Illinois going slightly blue. However, Missouri will also go slightly red, and the other states will take a while. At 10 o'clock, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas will be in next. As for all of Nebraska, it will go very much red, being completely red except for Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District, believed to go completely blue. As for Kansas, this will go red, as well as Oklahoma, Texas. Sorry, not Texas yet, my bad. Texas is going to take a long time to decide, but North Dakota and South Dakota won't. At this point, it will be now 11 o'clock, and finally, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico will all be red. All be closed. Montana and Wyoming will automatically be decided, while New Mexico will be so light red, as well as Colorado. Now, at 12, these 3 states will be called. Also, back in the mainstream, around 10:30, 11 o'clock, New York and New Jersey will go extremely red. Florida will go very much light blue. Red. So will Texas and Ohio. And at this time, Virginia will go also extremely light blue. And now, at this time, Idaho and Utah will be all red. And now, these 4 states at 12:30 a.m. will be decided. At this time, we'd be now able to make a decision saying North Carolina will go so light red, it's not even funny. And Georgia too. Meaning Donald is nearly at this mark. All that he needs is now, if he just wins these states as well as Alaska, he can probably come extremely close. He just needs to win one of these 2 states right now. He needs to win this as well. This small section here of Nevada and Arizona. With Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, he'll win. Now, at 12:30, California will go blue as well as Oregon and Washington. Well, meanwhile, on the northern front, Minnesota will go extremely light blue. Michigan also will not be decided, but it's going to probably be leaning a lot more towards Harris. These 3 states are going to be leaning a lot towards Harris right now. Now, at 1 o'clock, these 2 states will be closed. Of Alaska and Hawaii. Alaska will go red, Hawaii will go blue. Now, here's what I'm just predicting is going to happen. Nevada is going to go so light red, and so will Arizona. And now, at this point, Michigan is going to go extremely light blue. And so will Wisconsin, except for Pennsylvania, causing Donald Trump to win the presidential election. Now, we could go into this a little bit more deeply. As for the whole, we're going to go by the whole north. At this point, yellow is now going to mean the whole district I'm referring to, the whole region. This is the northern region. Northern region. Of all these northern regions, all these going all the way down to Ohio. But we'll actually save that for the Midwest. And now, we can make our decisions. Donald Trump will probably lose in this region, losing a lot, as unfortunately he stands pretty much no chance in any of these states. Sadly, due to the fact that there's a lot of major cities here, Donald will completely lose. With the only thing he might be winning is Pennsylvania and Maine's 2nd Congressional District. Maine at large will go to Harris. At this point, Harris would be doing really well. She'd be doing a lot well. Now, the southern region, the south and the southwest, is gonna be a bit more funny because here's fucking why. In this, Donald will win Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. Virginia is the only state that's going to go for Harris, and it'll be light blue. But West Virginia will go extremely red. And at this point, Donald will have most of the electoral votes he'll need. And now, in the northern region, near the Pacific region, the Great Lakes territories, right here. This is 108 electoral votes, and here's where things get funny. They get really funky because Ohio's gonna go really light red, not too light red. Illinois will go dark blue, not too dark blue, but Michigan will go light blue. So will Wisconsin and Minnesota. But somehow the other states, except for the rare couple down here, except for this small married couple, is gonna go completely blue. I mean, red. Now, the next part I'm about to tell you is about to get crazy. Now, in the Pacific region, here is what it is. Montana, Idaho, and Utah will all go red. Also, I made a mistake on this one. As well as Alaska, meaning Donald Trump will 100% win all the cards here. He will win the presidency a second term. But right now, there's a bit of insults here, as Harris only mildly wins Oregon. At this point, Nevada will go extremely light red, and so will Arizona, and Donald Trump will win. Now, what I can believe, if the Democrats cheat, quote unquote, because some people say this, I do believe this, they can win if they steal a lot of the battleground states that they do the best in. If they can do that, the worst case scenario is that only red states will exist now. However, also, what can really happen is, if the Democrats win, they will go extremely light red and blue in the states that they were trying to win. They'll go completely blue in the whole northern region here. The whole northern region here is going to go completely blue, and this small area here is going to go so light red it's not even funny. Pennsylvania will go very much light red. Ohio will go light blue. Light blue, my bad, for both of them. But these states here will all go blue, and it will weaken all the other states, particularly ones like Arkansas, Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, South Carolina. The only states I think aren't going to be extremely light red or light red in general are the following. The entirety of Nebraska will also be weakened significantly. And significantly is in Nebraska at large will go only barely red. But at this point, the states that I believe may actually stay as they are is Wyoming, because Wyoming isn't going to go blue. But South Dakota and North Dakota will be very much damaged if the Democrats quote unquote cheat. Now, I'm saying quote unquote so I don't offend any Harris supporters, because the Harris supporters are like, but they didn't cheat. While there is a lot of evidence to support this, I'm not going to take sides. So what the Republicans think is going to happen if the Democrats quote unquote cheat, and I believe that the Democrats do cheat, by the way, is that they're going to lose almost all the counties in Nebraska. They're going to lose in most states. Most states will be more light red than ever. And Donald will undoubtedly lose. At first, it may seem like Donald will be winning, but after losing most states Wyoming will be light red. But the only 3 states I believe won't, 2 states that I don't think will be going very much anything less than deep red safe state, if the Democrats quote unquote cheat at their fullest, and no one ever can tell, at their fullest level, is Idaho and Oklahoma. Yeah, that's scary. The Democrats will have 421 electoral votes. The Republicans will have 117. My next biggest question ever is, what if, let's say, all these swing states went red? Also, could Trump win if he just manages to carry all the other states? If he carries every big state and loses every other state? Because this may not actually happen, but let's just say, for the shits and giggles of it, that California and Florida and Texas and New York all go red, as well as Illinois. And also Maryland. Oh, and you can't forget about Washington. That'd be 309 electoral votes. If every other state went blue, this would never happen, by the way. In no world could this ever happen, because here's why. All these states are extremely red, except for the ones in the northeastern region. They wouldn't even come close with only 225 electoral votes. And after the Maine and Nebraska at large, 229. Here's what I believe will happen. We can bring back the states we all know Trump won't win. These will cause a lot of issues. But Trump can re-win all these states. The states of Utah, Idaho, Montana, yada yada yada. Okay, I get it. It's kind of like a harder thing to think about. But the only thing that's a little bit weird is these states being red. 1, 2, 3. Even if they all went blue, Trump still wins. He'd have to lose many states, especially Iowa. Sorry, I mean, not Iowa, Nevada, to even come close to the loss. Oh, shoot. But also, he'd still have 273 electoral votes. It's unlikely he'll even lose most of these states, except for Nevada. Sorry, I mean Virginia. He'd have to lose a lot more states than this. He can't lose Pennsylvania. Right now, it wouldn't even be the end of the world if he lost the state of even North Carolina would be kind of bad, but I don't think he's going to lose that state. The states he may lose, and let's just do ourselves a favor. Another question, I'm going to move on, because this question is going to take way too much of the time, and right now the channel does not have time for this shit. Excuse my poor choice of words. I'm going to go quickly decide to just label them. Red means just, red, like the red in general. Blue means blue in general. Oh shit, I didn't mean that one. And now I can simply actually do a extended electoral list. A standard extra electoral list means all the states that are even highly argued over. This will include Missouri and Iowa. But this can also include states like New York as well, my home state, and New Jersey. And of course, we of course have to see the Maine 2nd Congressional District. And now, the states that we're talking about here, of these states, we can also consider Kansas, because last election it did not go fully red or fully blue. And now, we can start off in the northern district, in this northern area here. New York will go light blue along with New Jersey. Some early victories for Kamala. Oh, and we also know that DC's already blue, so. And now that, now that Kamala's won in these 3 states, it's time to have Trump win something. So, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Now, this is not good, as well as Pennsylvania. This isn't good so far for Trump. In this area, Trump will also win Ohio. We'll leave these 3 states for later. Why is Illinois here? Illinois is already blue. And now we go into this area where Donald will win these 3 states, as well as Texas, winning automatically. Which is a bit scary. Because here's the funny thing. All he had to do was win a couple of states. He only had to win Georgia, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. So, yeah, he won. It's kind of scary for the Democrats. It's only scary that either candidate just has to win a couple more states to win. It would be a very tough race right now. But in Arizona and Nevada, he'll win, as well as in Wisconsin, and Minnesota, and Michigan. And Maine 2nd Congressional District will also. But Donald will almost be winning 300 electoral votes. Now for our final thing, what if technically some states are kind of, iffy right now. Because in some areas, the Democrats are likely to cheat. In the states in yellow are battleground states. You want to watch out if you live in those states, because if you're trying to be convinced not to vote by either party, do not do it. You have to vote. It's your right as an American to be doing so. So if you live in any of these states, just know this. And of course, these are the other states, right? Many other states. The 50 states we have, 231 electoral votes is on the line this election. And this year, once the Dawn tries to win, 247 electoral votes are at stake. Also, by the way, blue just means, like, blue in general. As well as many, many other areas. This is what can happen if we aren't careful as Americans. Right now, if Donald continues to make mistakes, the Republican that he keeps making sometimes, Donald will not win. And now, we can predict. New Hampshire will go light red, blue, if this happens. And of course, Pennsylvania will go light red. Virginia, light blue. North Carolina, light red. Georgia, light red. Florida, light red. So would be Texas. Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska's most of their districts, as well as Ohio. But most of these other states will be going for Harris. But a lot of these smaller states do make up a big difference. And that's another final question. What are all these states worth? These states, as you're referring to them, are a small but still pretty useful part of Donald Trump's campaign. Due to them collectively making over, except for even Ohio, because that's technically a state we care about. Alaska. What was I about to say again? Yeah, that's right. My bad. No one cares about these smaller states because they make up very few electoral votes. And some Republican, some are Democrat. No one cares. Some are both. And also, sadly, for the people that live in Oregon, yeah, they're not worth anything. And some electoral states, some battleground states are also like this. Like Nevada and New Mexico. These states do not make a difference. A lot of them, including 183 electoral votes consecutively, along with a couple others I'm probably forgetting, considerably making up a majority. Oh, and I'm also about to say Maryland, Washington, Massachusetts, and New Jersey. These states really don't matter. They may make a little bit of help. Some of the states are worth more than others, but they really don't make any big oomph. Starting off over here, we all can tell that the Democrats will win most states in the northeastern region, right? We can agree on that. Oh, shoot, I mean to say, DC. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I think like my mouse is better. My bad. At this point in time, in this land at this point, well, Donald is gonna win most of these states. These states in the Midwest don't really matter very much because they're tiny states that just don't really care about anything else. That's why Donald will probably end up winning most states like that. Except for maybe Nevada, where he will win. And Alaska, except Hawaii will go blue. And of course, Nebraska at large, and Nebraska's 2nd congressional district does matter. The states that do make an oomph, do make an oomph because they're electorally important states, especially right now, are all these states. These are usually between 18, maybe 19 electoral votes. Sorry, 10 to 18 electoral votes. This is 118 of them. And at this point, Trump really isn't going to win most of those states. Sadly, he's going to lose, actually, most of them, except for just Arizona, North Carolina, Georgia, and, Ohio. And now, here are the states that make the most of, because they're the biggest states, and they're the most important. New York, my home state. Take a guess if you can see where I am, guys. Anyway, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Florida, Texas, and California. Cali. The great state of Cali Valley, as some call them, means this is 190 electoral votes, making the most significant difference. The biggest hit for Donald is his losing the states of California, Illinois, and New York. But his biggest upgrades is that he wins the states of Florida, Texas, and Pennsylvania. Only narrowly, though, in Pennsylvania. Meaning he will end up winning between around 270 to 287 electoral votes. In general, that's just a rough estimate. So thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you like this. I'll see you next time, ladies.